We have a lot of stories to cover. We have driving class, Batman movie, and I'm getting pooped on by a bird. So without any further ado, let's just jump into the intro. Boop. And welcome to the ABHI podcast. I know it has been a long time because I have all these things to do, so I'm always delaying the episodes. Now they're becoming 2 weeks, but I'm trying to come back on track. Okay, so let's begin with the first thing: driving class. Now, when I came to India, I had never driven a car before. Never. Like just in the grounds, maybe sometimes, but never like properly. So this time I was like, no, I need to get a proper driving license and start a driving class. But the process of making a driver license was tedious as because first you have to apply for learner's license, and after application of learner's license you have to wait for 1 month till you can apply for your actual driving license. Plus, on my Aadhaar card the address is of Nagpur, and I currently stay in Mumbai, so I had to go to Nagpur, get my whole process done, and then come back to Mumbai to learn the driving. So whenever we apply and the thing is ready, it directly ships to Nagpur. Then we have to call them and then they'll send it to Mumbai. So it's a long process. But luckily, when my mother was here, she did it for us. Our driving license are finally here. So clap it up, everyone. Driving license are finally here. They arrived just a few days ago, and I have also started my driving classes. It's every day from 6:30 to 7, except for weekend, that is Saturday and Sunday. So, what are they teaching in driving class right now? The basic stuff. The first two classes were just theory. He taught me all the lights and signals and the basic gist of how to handle a car. And then from the third class onwards, I was actually driving the car. But still, I'm not having the full control. There are two sets of leg controls. He has an accelerator and actually he has a brake and a clutch, and I have a brake, clutch, and accelerator. He doesn't have accelerator. The instructor or the master. So he sits next to me in the passenger seat and just guides me. Okay, take the turn, take this, press the clutch, and especially gear car. I never drove a gear car, like never in my life. In Kuwait, only automatic cars are very popular. Other than that, no one uses gear. Maybe truck drivers use gear, but other than that, no one uses. Especially me, I have never even touched or handled a gear car. So when I came, I was like, will I be able to drive a gear car, a manual car? What am I saying, gear car? It's a manual car. So I was nervous because the difference between the roads in Kuwait and India are like zameen asman ka farak. That means it's heaven and earth. That much difference is there between the roads of Kuwait and India. Because in Kuwait the roads are big, there's free movement of car, there's no people walking on the streets all the time. But over here, even on the highway, people are walking, especially in the small alleys and gullies. People are always walking, cyclists, and then it's very cramped. So you have to drive very carefully in Mumbai. Over here, it's not about the speed; it's about how well you can observe your surroundings and manage, because if you don't, then you will certainly damage yourself, damage the car, or drivage. I'm confusing my words over here. Damage the pedestrian. So we need to be very, 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 very careful. Plus, if you hit the pedestrian in India or any other place, even if it's not your fault, it always, the blame is always put on the driver. Even if it's not the driver's fault, if it's the pedestrians fault purposely walking onto the street, still they will blame the driver. They'll be like, why didn't you handle the car properly? You're supposed to drive slow. It's a road full of people, so you have to be very careful about those things. And right now, today is going to be my fifth class in the driving session, so I hope, fingers crossed, that my driving goes well. Okay, next is the Batman movie. Oh yes, the Batman movie. Now, for those of you who have not seen the Batman movie, don't worry, I'll not be giving any spoilers over here. That is for first 5 minutes, all right? Afterwards, I don't know, if I get too jazzed up, I might give some spoilers, but be free and stay relaxed. I'm not going to give any spoilers. So when the movie was released, me and my brother, we wanted to see the movie since day one. First day, first show, we wanted to see, but because of college and exams and all these things, we couldn't watch. But we were like, now, you know what this means? Everyone is going to post about spoilers. Every single person, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, they're going to flood it with spoilers. So we had to stay away from all those things. My friends in Kuwait, they went and saw the movie and they loved it. Like I just saw a few chats in WhatsApp and they were like, "This movie's so great. This movie's so good looking." And I was like, "Da, da, 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 da. Be quiet. Stop talking right now. Be quiet. I don't want to listen to anything you have to say. All right, because I want to say this for myself." So my brother's exams get over, and he's like, "Abhishek, after the exams get over, immediately we're booking a ticket." So we booked a ticket for the West Theater, that is IMAX level. But I don't get it. No, IMAX is supposed to be like the best experience to watch a movie, but I'm just finding it very lacking. Like I go to IMAX, some IMAXs have good audio, but the quality of the video is very dim, or it's just something is off. And yeah, some other IMAX, the video is very bright and good looking, but the audio is little reduced. Like in we saw Batman in PVR cinema near Phoenix Palladium, and it was a morning show. That is also on Monday, because no, not Monday, Sunday 9 a.m. show, because that was the cheapest ticket available, 380 rupees per person. But we were like, we have to see the movie, but we also wanted to save money. The evening shows were like 560 rupees. It's insane, but people pay that price because when you check the evening show, the seats are completely booked. It's insane. I know, but people do that. So we went in the morning and saw the movie, and let me tell you, the movie is exquisite. All right, exquisite movie. When I jumped in the movie, I was like, you know what? I'm expecting a certain quality of Batman because I've seen the trailers and they look awesome. And the director is the director who made all the Planet of the Apes movies, the latest ones. So I was expecting some high class movie production over here. But when I went in, it was absolutely like a comic book. Like how they originally designed Batman in a comic book, that's how the movie felt. It felt like hand drawn comic book. Exactly, like so scenic and so beautiful. I mean, oh, the amount of detail they put in each frame in this movie is excellent. And not only that, it's PG-13, but when you look at the movie, it feels like it should be high, like it should be even more highly rated, like maybe R rated. But I don't know how they managed it. They made a movie so realistic and gruesome and still managed to keep it PG-13. So I have to give it to the director, because most of the times when it's PG-13, you have to cut down a lot of things and you have to dilute the movie so that the kids can understand. But I don't know how Matt Reeves managed to pull this off, but he made a PG-13 movie feel like it's R rated. All right, but yeah, excellent movie. For those of you who haven't checked it out, it's still not too late. Okay, get a ticket right now and check the movie. It's not sponsored. I'm just saying it's a very good movie. How much will I give it out of 10? I'll give it an 8. Absolutely. This movie gets an 8 out of 10 on my side. It is just excellent. I had so much fun. It is 3 hours long, and for those of you who are not like connoisseurs of movie, who do not like just cherish each and every movie like that you see, it'll be like RAR. It's a Batman movie. I was expecting action, and trust me, there is action sequences in this movie. They're very beautifully shot and jaw-dropping action sequences. But there is also drama, and if you feel like that's not your pace, then you might get a little bored. But you know, it's like a fine wine. It gets better as the third time, fourth time you watch it. So yeah, the Batman movie, excellent stuff. All right, right now in some college news, some VGTI news. All right, VGTI is having a host of competitions happening right now. Yesterday, no, just a few days before, there was a Technovanza event. I posted a shot on my channel. Just check it out over here. The pop-up will come right over here. Check it out and tell me how you feel. So that was Technovanza. Technovanza is basically a tech fest where all the students come together, make technology-related items and shows and projects, and they display it. And students from other colleges also come to this event. But sadly, because of all the COVID situation and all the pandemic, the this year's event was hampered a lot because many students haven't even been able to attend the college physically. So the presence, the amount of students attending the festival was very less this year. Otherwise, if you go on YouTube and you search Technovanza, you get so many videos where it's like legit a party. You can't even tell if it's a program. There's like robotic arms, there's robot battles, there's a big cage. It's insane. It's insane. Today, Enthusia is going on. It's also another event type. It's basically sports, focus geared more towards the sports, and have like variety of sports: carom, chess, basketball, football, badminton. My favorite, badminton, chess, and all those other sports. Then there's Pratibimb. Pratibimb is just like acting and drama and all those cultural activities. So yeah, it's a very, but this year it was not that good because of all the thing that I just mentioned. But I bet next 2 3 years it will get back up to its regular pace, and maybe it become even better because everyone is like super ready right now. They're like, I want to make it as better as possible. So give it one more year, give it 1.5 years, and it might become even better than it was before. So yeah, waiting for Enthusia and Technovanza to be better next year. All right, this year was also awesome. There was a laser show. It's all in the short, so check it out if you haven't checked it out already. All right, and the last story, which is a little sad and embarrassing for me, I got pooped on by a bird for the first time. I know. Trust me, I also was very shocked and surprised. I mean, what, I can't understand. I have seen so many movies, and in so many of them, for a comedic reason, birds poop on characters, right? And it's funny, ha ha ha, funny, right? But at that time, you don't understand the pain of that character. Right now, I felt the pain of that character. And you know what happened? It happened at the worst time. Alright? It was the last day of my mother in India. She was leaving for the airport, alright? So many things went wrong that day. So many things went wrong. Her flight was at night, alright? So her flight was at night, alright? That was like rhyming, bro. I'm like a gangster over here. Alright, okay, let's get to the point. So her flight was in the night, and we booked a cab for her. The cab came and she sat in the car, alright? But before leaving, she was like, let me get a last selfie. So me, my brother, and my mother, we took a selfie on her phone, and I was the one clicking the selfie. So after taking the selfie, my mother sat in the car and she left. But I forgot to give her the phone back. So I took her phone and kept it back in my pocket only. She left and she thought that she kept her phone in the bag. She didn't even check. Then me and my brother go back to our flat, and I'm like, okay, now it's time to get back on my phone. So I put my hand in the pocket and I felt that my cover is different. So I pull it out and I'm like, is this my mother's phone? Oh my! I was like completely panic situation, because if you don't have your phone anymore, I was so shocked and I was panicking. I'm like, oh my god, she's going to leave and I have her phone. So immediately we are all panicking. We're like, who do we call? We can't call my mother. And my brother, Abhishek, call the Ola driver. Call the Ola driver. Check on the app. So he called the Ola driver and told him, "Bhai, phone." The guy U-turned and came back immediately. Luckily, they hadn't gotten far, and I realized it pretty quick. Then I gave the phone to my mother. Actually, no. Then we went down immediately, waiting for my mother's car to come. Alright? We are waiting, and then something fell on me. And I thought maybe it's like some leaf, because there's so many trees on the street. So maybe I thought maybe some leaf must have fallen on me. I didn't bother a lot. Alright? Something fell on me, and I'm just waiting. My mother arrives. I give her the phone. Luckily, she wasn't in a bad mood. She was like in a happy mood while she was leaving. So when she came back, she wasn't irritated. She was just like, Abhishek, man, what is this? She was like sarcastically playing it off. So I was like, oh, thank God she's not angry. So I gave the phone to her, and while I was giving the phone, I looked down, and on my shirt, there's like 5 inches long of bird poop stain. I'm like, are you kidding me? First, I forget my mother's phone, and then second, a bird poops on me. But that's not the end of my story. I give the phone to my mother, and my mother's like laughing on me. She's like, this is the punishment for your dumbness. I'm like, well, I gave the phone to my mother, and she goes, all right. Now I'm like, my God, now I have to go and change this shirt, and I have to, I have to sleep now. So I changed my shirt, and I'm sitting on the bed. And then a few hours later, my mother calls my auntie, and she's like, the plane has been cancelled. I'm like, what is happening tonight? The plane gets cancelled, I get pooped on, the phone is forgotten. I'm like, why is everything going bad at the last minute? Oh my god, it was such a mess, but somehow she was like, she tried to get another plane or something else, like she was trying to figure it out, but they said, no, you have to wait an extra day in India, and then the next day you'll get a plane. So then she came back home the same night, stayed one more day, but luckily because of that, she got some more of her work done. And then after she got that done, she was like, yeah, let's time to go. Now then the second day she went to India she went to Kuwait, and this time the plane was not delayed or cancelled. So luckily everything was fine. Yeah. And that's the story of how the bird pooped on me. What an experience! Like, three things went bad back to back on the same night within a few hours of each other. And one of them was a new experience because I have already forgotten my phone. Alright? So, my god, I was just like, how? Like, Mumbai is such a big place. And the millions of people over here. And out of all those millions of people, it was me who got pooped on in the middle of the night. What are the odds? What are the odds? Well, before I end the podcast, F1 is about to start. Just day after tomorrow, the practice session is starting, and I'm so excited. I am just completely in pumped up mode right now because F1 is about to start. My prediction is that Verstappen gets pole on the first race, Hamilton is second, and my favorite guy, Checo Perez, comes third. That's the realistic prediction. But my fantasy prediction, Checo Perez comes on top. Like podium number one finish. I'm just excited, okay? So, yeah, that's my prediction for the new F1 race. Waiting to see what happens. Till then, take care. Thank you for listening. See you in the next time. Peace!